What's going on, y'all? So listen. What's going on, y'all? So we are back again for another episode review of Pose, the season 2, episode 4. Is it 4? Yeah, episode 4. Never knew love like this before. Okay, so we start the episode off, and they're at this Vogue scene. They're at the ballroom, and they all voguing down or whatever. We got that. We see like the House of Wintour. She got her people out there voguing. We see Naomi out there. I said, look at Naomi. Okay, and then the next scene or whatever the category is lofting, okay? Because they just gave praises to Madonna. She put in Vogue on the map. And the fact that it's taking a white woman, a white, in this case, we're going to just say straight because we know Madonna go each and every way. But for this instance, we're going to say straight. This white, straight woman to come out here and to put something that was brought up in the gay ballroom scene and gay community on the map, and then to be praised for it is very, very telling. Okay, something that's been out here, and it shows that this is what happened all the time. Even to this day, we have people who take stuff from black cultures and other minorities, and all of a sudden they want to take it, and because they put it out there, because of their skin tone, because of their level of fame or whatever, then it becomes popular. Then it becomes popping, even though it's been out there a long time, and they branded and mark the value up and all this stuff. We see it time and time again, and that's exactly what's going on with this Vogue and stuff. Okay, and so at this point they do a category lofting, bringing out the trade. The guys that the gay guys that's kind of masculine, that can pass for a straight homeboy and all that stuff. Your tops and shit like that. They come out there, do they dancing, voguing a little bit. You got Shadow doing his thing, voguing, do a little b-boy stance and all that stuff. Then you get Lamar come out there. Lamar is the other one that be with Cubby. That always, wherever Electra goes, they gonna go too, okay? When Pray Tell said, look at Lamar, he the house of a bunch, the house of evangel, the house of, bitch, the house of Wintour. This house happened, this house hopping hoe. I said, bitch, you ain't never fucking lied, okay? Wherever Electra go, he go. They was like, you know what, you gonna get clocked with that earring, okay? So he didn't get that much of a good score. Then this other guy came out there and he really killed it. He just straight up b-boy, breakdance and all that shit. And then they was like, who else coming? Anybody else, after this one, you're not gonna, ain't nobody gonna top that one, so who else wanna do it? Bitch, Candy bring her ass out there. And it's big boy. She ain't even dressed the part. She dressed like Madonna in Vogue with the fake titties and the corset and all of that. And I'm just like, girl, what is going on? She dancing, she voguing, she doing all this stuff. And of course, once again, we get another legendary read down by Pray Tell against her. All right. And at this point, it's like, Candy, you brought it on yourself. And Candy, as we can tell if you saw the episode, Candy was the focal point of this episode. This episode was all about Candy. And what I like about Candy's character is the fact that, sometimes you can dislike her because she does too much. But if you look deeper into the, you don't look just above the surface and on the surface, you look deeper, whatever, you see that Candy just wants respect. Candy wants to be loved. Candy, she's the comedic relief. Okay, she makes us laugh with her antics, but she wants that attention, but she goes about it the wrong way. Okay, and it causes her to be laughed at and become the laughing stock. And Pray Tell always reading the fuck out of her and all that stuff. So he proceeds to do that, and we see another scene with Pray Tell and the MCs of the ball. Before that, yeah, we see them, and they're going over what they're going to do in the ball, new categories, how they're going to get funding. They have to, have people pay their dues and their donations so that they can get the trophies. And are we going to add new categories and all this stuff? The girls, they love the lip syncing. Okay, we not finna do that lip syncing shit. I'm not here for it. I found that so funny cause as soon as they said lip syncing, and then when Pray Tell said, no, we ain't here for that. And I just went to RuPaul Drag Queen, lip sync for your life. That's all that I went to, and that's popular, okay? And then you have Candy sitting off to the side listening to them and coming over there like, "Lil bitch, this is what we gonna have. This is what we need to do." We had this famous DJ that was there, okay? It's getting out there and all this stuff. Of course, Pray Tell is not hearing her. Pray Tell is just coming for her throat, coming for the jugular with her. And at this point, Candy had enough. Like, she pulled a butter knife on his ass and was about to, stab him up. And he was like, "What you gonna do? You gonna cut me and do all this shit in broad daylight?" It was like, "Okay, fuck you, Pray Tell." And then she was about to leave and threw some shit at him. Okay, and so them two people, I feel like they entertain each other, they bounce off each other, and that's just their weird relationship that they have, okay? They don't dislike each other. They just, some people just can't get along and be nice to each other for the sake of being nice, okay? They always have to have some contention. That's the way that they get, that's the way that they work. And it don't necessarily mean that they dislike each other. They just love pushing each other's button. And that is the relationship that we see with Candy and, Pray Tell. Then we get the scene with Blanca and Pray Tell going to talk to Nurse Judy, okay, on her lunch break at the hospital. We saw that the other nurse was trying to vogue and all this stuff. And of course, Pray Tell, telling her to look in the mirror, and practice some more moves because, baby, that ain't it, okay? And so, they trying to get Pray Tell to take the AZT medicine because, Blanca's taking the medicine. So far, she haven't had any, negative side effects or whatever. And Pray Tell is just being really stubborn because, Blanca had told Judy about this little voodoo, what is it, holistic thing that he was trying to do, talking about eating a pound of butter a day. I said, "Bro, what? That don't even sound like it tastes right. Like, no, what are you trying to do? Cholesterol, baby." And at this point, he was like, he don't want to take the AZT because he want to go a holistic route. And Judy is trying to tell him that that is not going to work, okay? They don't know much about this disease, but they know that that's not going to work at this point, okay? It's too new. They don't know what's going on. The best bet and hope that you have to survive this or at least prolong your life a little bit is to take this AZT. And AZT wasn't no guarantee because AZT had some of the side effects that made you feel worse than what you already were, okay? And like they said, it was worse than chemo. If you know anything about taking chemo or seeing anybody take chemo, chemo destroys your immune system and, people become sick from that, okay? It makes you sicker, all right? And so just to try to kill the cancer and stuff that's in your body. So, it's the same thing. And it was very harsh. And, that's probably why he didn't want to take the drug. But, he was very indignant about not taking it. And it's like, oh, here we go. And so after that, it's another ball scene. And we back at the ball, and then Lulu goes over there. First of all, Blanca was on the floor just looking at everything, giving the tens, giving the snaps and all that stuff. "Yeah, girl, that's it. You better do that shit, bitch." Okay. And then Angel comes out there and was like, "Come here, it's very important, it's very important." "Bitch, did y'all see Ricky sitting over there with the House of Winter?" I said, "Oh, so we really with the House of Winter?" Okay, bitch, I can see that. He got the look for him, But moving on, they went back to over there to the back, and Lulu was crying because Lulu has not heard from Candy. Lulu has not heard from Candy, don't know what's going on. She's just really concerned. It's been a few hours and a couple of days or whatever. She hasn't come home. They haven't heard from her. Come to find out, she was like, "Well, money is hard. Time is hard and money is thin." And, so we already know that Candy works as a stripper or a dancer at a club, okay? We know that. But to be the mother of the house and to pay the bills and to take care of everybody else and make sure everybody else is all good, they need to come in and bring some more cash. And so because she's the mother of the house, I guess she took on that responsibility to bring in the money. And so she went to the motel Holiday Inn, and the sleazy ass hotel to, turn tricks, okay? And so at this point, I'm sitting here like, Damn, so was she the only one making money or trying to make money up in the house? What was everybody else contributing to? Y'all just freeloading or whatever was going on. But that's what it results to sometimes when you have people who are transgender, transsexuals, who live their life out loud like that and live their truth, and not everyone is accepting, especially back then and even to this day, that a lot of transgender women and transsexual women, whichever one you want to call, whichever the correct terminology is, I don't want to be disrespectful, have to go into sex work. You know what I'm saying? Have to be out on the street. And it's a very dangerous thing. And I appreciate this episode so much because what was going on in this episode hits home to what's going on in current day. Okay. We have a lot of transgender women that are ending up in this situation that Candy ended up in. And so at this point, Blanca is like, trying to figure out what's going on. Did you go down to the hotel? Did you see what's happening? She was like, no, I didn't want to go by myself. So they went down there to the hotel. It looks sleazy. Okay, it's disgusting, sleazy, and all that stuff. And it's one of those hotels that rent by the hour. And so the manager, whoever of the hotel, he wasn't really trying to get no straight answers about who was there, and because Candy always takes room 44 because it has the vanity, and they wanted to go back there to see what was going on if she was back there because they saw that the key was not on the wall. Okay, and he said no, you can't do that. And so at this point, Blanca, you know she leaves her number, and she said, if you hear anything, you see anything, please give me a call and let me know what's going on. Okay, just let me know, because they showed them her picture and everything. And so they left, and everybody is really concerned about what's going on. Blanca is at the house, putting Poppy on phone duty, having Angel do this and delegating jobs for each and everybody so that they can be on the lookout, because they're trying to find where their friend is. And like she said, she wasn't living in this house, but she was still our sister. She was still for us. This is still our girl. Regardless of what's going on, we're going to put all the differences aside, and we're going to come together as one and come together and try to find our sister in this community, in our community. This is our person, okay? And we need to help and, be on the lookout. And then right then she gets a phone call. Poppy answers, and he was like, "Ma, it's for you." And so she gets on this phone. Next thing you know, we see her sitting on the floor, sitting on the couch, and then Angel is sitting in her lap, laying her head in her lap. And then Lulu comes to the door. Lulu is like, "What's going on? What's going on?" "No, I'm trying to wait till Electra get here." "No, tell me what's going on. Have you heard from her?" "Candy's dead." So what wound up happening is Candy um basically was killed by John that she was with, one of her tricks that she was with, and they found her in the closet. The maid found her in the closet. The hotel manager said something was fishy about the whole thing. After they left, he went on ahead and he went and checked out the room, or had the maid check out the room or whatever. And that's when she went in there to clean it up, and that's when she notices a towel with some blood on it or whatever. And so she opens up the closet door, and there goes Candy laying there on the floor. Did I see this coming? No. I thought they was going to show, when I saw the preview of this episode, I really did think I thought that they was going to show like her struggles, where she came from, how she got here, because I knew it was going to be a Candy oriented, episode, but I did not know it was going to go this route. And I said, I like every character on here, for real, for real. And so I didn't want to see anybody leave. And I was just and this is only the 4th episode. Like, it's 10 episodes this season. And they're coming back for a 3rd season. And we're not going to get Candy no more. And I'm like, oh, this is sad. Like, her body, I was just like, this is fucked up. And this is very reminiscent, like you guys had to remind me, because I have forgot also, the story of what happened, I think it was last week, with Electra. and the body in the closet. And that was a real thing that really actually happened. So what I like about this show is that they're actually pulling from real events that happen, and this is another event that happened too. Okay, if you ever saw Paris is Burning, it was a girl on there, Venus Extravaganza. Okay, and she was out here. She was trying to be an aspiring model. And at one point, it seemed as if her character was trying to mimic, no, Angel's character was trying to mimic hers, with the model aspect of it, and she's down on the piers turning tricks, and that's what Venus used to do, whatever. She was a wild one that they say, or whatever. And while they was filming Paris is Burning, she wound up getting killed. She wound up being strangled to death. She was in a hotel, and they found her under the bed 4 days later. You know what I'm saying? So this Candy situation is very reminiscent. It's like the telling of the story of what happened to Venus Extravaganza, a real person. You know what I'm saying? And she died really young. You know. And she had a lot of hopes and dreams, and she never got to see them fulfilled because her life was taken from her, and I don't think they ever found her killer. Same thing that happened today when we hear about a lot of trans women who are getting killed, and either their killers are not being caught or it's not being that much focus put on them. And it is a real life issue that is happening. That is happening. And so it touched home. It hit home, and it hit different when the shit is real. Okay? And that's exactly what happened. Like, bitch, I said y'all would not have me in here in my feelings. And I was dead ass in my feelings this whole episode. Especially when they get to the funeral. Judy had to pull some strings to let them get the body and take it to their funeral home of choice. First of all, dude didn't want to do it. You're asking me to do this, and it's going to make me lose my job. And, she said, but you used to go with my homeboy, okay? And you broke his heart. But think about this. Let's say y'all would have stayed together and something would have happened to him. You wouldn't have had no claim over his body. You wouldn't have been able to do that because you didn't have no rights to that. So how would you think she feel? This is the only family that Candy had, okay? And so at this point, he changed his tune, said, just tell me the funeral home that you want me to send the body to. And they did that. And when we saw her, I said, who put that Mary J. Blige ass old ass wig on her motherfucking head? Take that shit off, okay? They said, let us do this shit, okay? They had to do her face over, put her hair back, Angel tried to call her parents. Her parents wasn't receptive or whatever. So Angel was in her feelings at this point about this. She went off at one point, talking about them crying, what it's gonna do about it, and all this shit that's gonna happen, going to the police, and who gonna do this, they don't care about us, and all this shit. It was really, really sad. And so when they get to the funeral, everybody showed up in droves. Even though they probably had issues with Candy, they still love Candy deep down. And that is what Pray Tell was saying. Y'all know I couldn't stand, me and that bitch went back and forth, but she was still like family and all that stuff, whatever. And I loved the little speech that he gave. And then when they sat down and they did basically, he had a little premonition moment when they did the moment of silence and trying to do a silent prayer for her. And, she came to him and he was like basically going back and forth as to why you gave me so much flack. And then he was like, maybe it was because of the fact that you represent the part of me that I try to suppress. The part of me that I don't want to show the world. I try so hard to fit into the world and not show them the loud feminine side of me. But you had no problem with just being who you are. Okay? And then you had who else? Angel went up there to view the body, and she was just, Candy came to her, speaking to her, just telling her it's gonna be okay. You got to be out here. Don't cry for me. All that stuff. I'm gonna miss you, but this is what had to happen. I'm still gonna be there for you and all that shit, bitch. It was a scene with Blanca. And Pray Tell was talking, and no. Lulu didn't want to come in and see Candy the way that she was, and she just felt bad about the whole thing. But fortunately, she was able to be convinced to come in. And when she goes in there to see her, baby, Lulu was all type of tears, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, look look at Lulu. She's in, that's her homegirl, right? They didn't think that she was going to come in there. So when she did, and when she actually went up there to the body, at the mood changed. She was just, Candy, girl, I'm going to miss you. You was my friend. You was my bitch. I couldn't stand your Steven ass. This my motherfucking brooch. And this my hat. This. I said, Lulu. They had to cut it up a little bit just to, give us a little bit of humor just to break up the sadness. And I appreciate that, But, Candy does come to her as she goes outside to, smoke her cigarette. And she was like, at least you was being honest. You was the only one that was being honest, okay? None of them motherfuckers really like me like that. But at least you had the balls and the galls to say that you did. Okay? But don't make it seem like we didn't have no good times, okay? We stole a coat together. We had to snuggle under that coat when we ain't had no heat. We had to do this. We had to do that, And so she had her moment. And I love the fact that they did it like this. And then we see another moment where Blanca is sitting in a funeral home and Candy comes to her and they're sitting there and Candy is holding her hand and they're both humming. They're humming a gospel hymn, okay? And then she gets interrupted because Electra says that there's some old couple out there eating up their refreshments. And so Blanca goes to see who it is, and it's Candy's parents, okay? And Candy's parents each had a vision of Candy themselves as well, and this is coming to the realization of who their child is, because the mother was still saying, no, Candy ain't no girl. Who the fuck is Candy? That's my son, okay? And so once they go up there to view the body, Candy had this talk with her mom, like, what took you so long to see me as me? You brought me here. You knew, I thought I had you on my side when you saw me going through your stuff and wearing your stuff and you was okay with it. And she was like, I just didn't know. I didn't know I could have handled you. God forbid you being gay, but I had to handle you wanting to change yourself and be a woman and, all this stuff. And it was a very deep, realization of she lost her child, and it took a death of her child to realize who her child really was and that she should have stayed loving her regardless. And she missed valuable time with her. And maybe, probably, if they would have let her stay in the home and understood her more, and it seems like it was more so the mother, she probably would still be here. She wouldn't have to take the route that she took. Because then we see the complete contrast and difference between the conversation with the mom. The mom just get to this point where her child is dead, that she realized that she still loved her child and she should have been there for her child. And, she understands her child now. But the dad, he already knew his child was different. And he accepted it. He brought the baby. He knew that the baby wasn't into the sports stuff. He knew that the baby was a little feminine, wanted the dream house, wanted the doll house, and he went on ahead and brought that, and he was okay with it, for the most part. So I thought that was a beautiful moment. I thought that was really nice, the way that they did that. You know, it was touching, because that whole scene, because we have a lot of people, whether you gay, lesbian, transgendered, who parents unfortunately don't accept them for who they are, okay, and they disown them, and most of it is ignorance because they don't know, and they don't want to take the time to know, and because they're all about what society may think and things like that, whatever. And so that's a scene that probably hit home with a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? It's what it is. And then, so, they had the Paul Barrel come out there, and, the world transform into them, because Pray Tell and other MCs announced that they're going to have Candy Rain sings or whatever, lip syncing category. And so they take the the casket into the ballroom, and then the song Never Loved Like This Before started playing, and Candy gets out the casket with her I Just Want to Dance With Somebody Whitney Houston wig on. I said, you better do that shit, bitch. Okay, and she lip syncing to the song or whatever, and that's how her scene goes out. And then the end scene, we see, Lulu and House of Wintour, the main house, Electra, Lamar, Cubby, you know, and of course Evangelista house, and they're all at, you know, Blanca's house, and they're just eating and commiserating. And then we see Pray Tell, you know, he has this moment where he kind of zones out. And then, you know, when Blanca was doing the dishes or whatever, he told her to take this cup and give me some water. And he finally decides to take the AZT. And that is how the episode ends. It was a deep episode. It was a good episode. It was a touching episode, emotional. You guys tell me how you felt about it, and I will see you guys later. Peace.